Hey friends, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. It's a very exciting day. I've got a very special guest with us. Let me ask you a question. Has the COVID crisis changed the way you do business? Well, there were a lot of speakers on stage that were speaking January, February, and March before this crisis hit. And I want to say the National Speakers Association reports that in 2008, during the financial crisis, the speaking industry took a 66% nosedive. That is, speaking fees went down 66%, and the number of engagements, actual speaking gigs on stage. Well, we definitely live in unprecedented times, and unprecedented times require amazing men. And we've got an amazing man here. He's the confidence architect, and I think I see him in the green room here. Daniel Gomez from San Antonio, Texas. How you doing today, my friend?
Man, good morning. Good morning. I'm doing fantastic, man. Just pumped up, ready to rock and roll.
You
know what we did this morning, Mike, that we haven't done forever?
You always seem positive and outgoing. And man, why are you so happy? I know you were hand washing the cars recently. You said you haven't done that in yours. How has the COVID crisis changed your life, man?
You know, I was just telling my wife this morning, and I was really just, it kind of just really teared me up. It's really brought me and my wife a lot closer together. We're being like teenagers again. It's like we're courting. We went for a walk this morning. Yeah, we went for a walk this morning, and then we're supposed to walk, and then all of a sudden she wants to pass me up, so she starts jogging. And then I'm like, hey, I thought we were going to walk. She's like, oh, I feel like jogging. So then she leaves me behind. So then the competitor in me comes out, right? I want to be swole. Boom, baby. So I start jogging, and then next thing you know, we got back. I said, honey, our cars are dirty. And I'm a big believer, what you're grateful for, you take care of. So I said, we haven't washed our cars in about 3 weeks since we've been home. So we ended up getting wet on the water hose. And it was a great morning, man. So there's so much to be grateful for when you look for it, Michael.
You know what you need? You actually need you need a full-time videographer just following you guys around, because I bet if you would just go live, and that's my goal, is to go live more in 2020, not just because of the pandemic. You know, I loved going live before and just popping on an interview like this, but you've been a paid speaker for a long time, and there's a lot of speakers that really counted on that because they had one stream of income. They didn't have coaching and consulting or sales training in the back end like you did, and you've been able to adapt and shift pretty quick. What would you say to a speaker right now? They find themselves in this crisis where all their speaking gigs have dried up, and they're thinking, what am I going to do? How can I transition into virtual? I've never even done a live before.
Well, I would say this: they really need to build up their confidence. And the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is the belief in themselves. And when you have the confidence in yourself, because I'll say this is you got to just act regardless of not knowing everything. And when you have confidence in yourself, it doesn't matter what you're selling or what your product is. You're going to take action and believe in that product. And the reason you're going to believe in that product or service is because you're going to believe in yourself. And a good example is that when God put it in my heart to do the Speaker Academy, I was like, Speaker Academy, what's going on? Like, I was just, it came out of the blue because we had just finished our business accelerator that you were a part of, was very successful. We had over 100 people there, amazing event. But I was just like, I was brain tired. I was tired because, you know, hosting an event, you've done it yourself. It's exhausting sometimes. But I'll say this is that when the idea came, I acted upon it. I acted upon that. And next thing you know, we're selling tickets, Michael. And this is to the grace of God, glory of God, right? Praise God. We're selling high dollar tickets to this event during COVID. And if that's not God, let me tell you, that was just by being obedient, man. And that's just, you just got to take action. I have failed 1,000 times, and that's what's made me successful. I have failed as a husband. I have failed as a father. I have failed as a friend. I failed in many aspects as a leader of a corporation, but I get back up and I just try my best again, man.
Man, I love that. I really love that. We're getting a lot of comments on the feed because we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and on several of our Facebook groups. So we've got Elizabeth in London saying hi to us. She's going to actually be on later today. She's one of our authors that's going to be weighing in at 3 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Dallas and San Antonio time. If you have a question right now for Daniel, go ahead and type it into the chat, friends. Go ahead and tell us where you're watching from and what your questions are. One thing I've noticed, Daniel, is you and I have been a part a lot of these online summits recently. I mean, ever since right after, what day was your event? March
6th. March 6th. It was Friday, March 6th, Michael.
So I think by March 15th, pretty much the whole world shut down. So you pretty much had your event. And right now, I know San Antonio, where you're at, is under lockdown. Most of the globe is under lockdown. But what I wanted to do right now, because we've got a lot of people joining us and some celebrity guests joining us at 3 Central, I wanted to get a little sneak peek in here. I wanted to get a little sneak peek about how people can transition. I know you recently spoke on a virtual stage and actually picked up a new customer there. But one thing I'm doing, you're doing a lot more, is you're putting out free content. Now, Daniel, I want to speak to the fear factor. The first thing you said was confidence. If you are wanting to be a public speaker, you've got to start confessing that and saying that. I speak to thousands of people. Now, I've been around you enough, Daniel, to know you're a positive guy. You know, you've taken the best of the Bible, which it's all good, and in the Bible. But then you also took other books like Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, and that power of auto-suggestion and speaking it with the mouth that he got from the book of Proverbs and from the Bible, the power of saying, I am an author, I am a speaker, I am a coach. So what I tell people that are afraid to go live is you got to get past that fear and just start providing free content. I know you use a lot of different platforms, from Instagram to Facebook, where right now you love to use StreamYard just like I do. What would you say for somebody that's maybe they're an insurance person or they are a speaker that wants to get more gigs, but they're terrified of going live? What advice would you give?
So if you're that person, you just got to do it. So a good example is if you're in anything that you're in, it comes down to how many reps are you getting in, right? This morning we worked out and we could have walked half a block, but we walked 3 miles and we ran 3 miles, ran. But I say that because the more reps you get in, the easier it gets. And the problem is we do like a test market. We do a test market which is too small. And maybe we call 2 or 3 people and those people didn't buy from us if you're an insurance agent, and then it brings your confidence down, right? No, call 20 people, call 50 people, and then make your hypothesis from that point. But if you just call really good people, if it's just a small scale market that you're just trying, your results are going to be terrible, because you close about 10% of the people that you talk to is just a game of the rule. But if you put it out there, call 50 people. I promise you, if you call 50 people, if you're in sales, you're going to make one appointment that's going to be a valid, great appointment that might lead into a prospect. And that's the same idea that you want to do in going live. You know, your first lives are going to stink. I go back to when I did my first live. I had this video. It wasn't even a live. It was actually my demo video that I had on my first website. Me and Marty were cleaning out because she's going to be working from home for the rest of them till the end of summer. So we got her office set up, and we found my first computer when I first started, Michael. And I found some pictures of a
Commodore 64.
and the video that was there, I was like, Marty, I wouldn't have hired myself either with this video. So I would tell that person, you have to just start. You just have to take action, right? And it's like that quote. I don't know, many people quote this quote, and I don't know who started it, but I love it, right? You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start somewhere to be great. And it's not where you begin in life, it's where you finish. And where do you want to finish?
Well, it's so true, and it's so good. And I think some people, you're more of a creative and you're a type A driver like I am. So people look at us, we're naturally outgoing and gregarious, and they're like, you were always that way. But the fact is we weren't. I mean, I go back and look at some of the VHS tapes of me speaking 30 years ago, and it was awful. And
did you say VHS?
VHS, man. Yeah. I've got a box of those I need to convert. I've got but the thing is, we all get better with practice. We have to practice in order to get better. So you ask yourself, you pick a lane. You ask yourself, good to see you, Ben. Good to hear from you, friend. You pick a lane, and then you ask yourself, who are the movers and the shakers in that lane? And then you go interview them. That's how you get known for a topic. I like something you said right there, Daniel. And it made me think of a Jim Rohn quote. And I know our friend Ben Gay here was really good friends with Jim Rohn. And I love the direct sales and network marketing industry. It's about the numbers. If you do something long enough, a ratio will appear. Now, I got to tell you, because we publish a lot of network marketing, direct sales people from many different companies all over the world. You're talking about the numbers game. In COVID times, a lot of people have really gotten tight-fisted and fear-based with their money, right? So before, if you had 50 prospects, maybe you converted 5. Now, maybe you need to have 250 prospects in the pipeline. What would you say about, I know you're a funnel expert and you're really good at keeping people in the pipeline. Maybe somebody is new to sales and doesn't know what that is. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, it goes back to the saying that I always say, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Talking about the event, we started about talking about Sticker Shock Speaking Academy. I had to call some of these people that bought the tickets to the event. I didn't call them once, Michael. I didn't call them twice. I didn't call them 3 times. I called some of these people, no joke, 10 times. But you have to follow up. And this is the thing is since we lack that confidence, since we lack that belief in ourselves, we don't follow up because we feel like we take it personal. We take it personal because if they don't answer our phone call, and I had this problem when I was young in sales, I would call somebody and be like, well, Michael must be ignoring me. He must not want to talk to me. It's a dumb belief system, but some of us, and I'm going to be honest, I had that when I was very, very young, 20 years ago. So I wouldn't follow up like I do now. But now I follow up. Hey, I have this belief. Follow up until they buy or die. Or they tell you not to call them anymore.
I used to do door-to-door sales, and it was so fun because the adrenaline rush you get from picking up the phone or doing door-to-door sales, to me, is just it's exhilarating to get that. And so if somebody hasn't had that, I mean, I know you were a general manager of car dealerships, sales manager at car dealerships. You've trained salespeople for years. Your book, Sticker Shock, The Day You Realize You're Worth Millions, you're helping people in the sales industry look at themselves as a sales professional, and not something they apologize for. I like what Zig Ziglar said, because Zig said, and I know Ben worked with Zig for a lot of years on projects. They did some amazing things together. He said most of the sales happen on that 7th sales call. But you got to look at your own life and yourself, right? You've got a family, you're busy, you get distracted, you have good intentions. You got to realize your prospects, it's not that they're rejecting you or saying no. You just haven't caught them at the right time and given them enough reasons to say yes. I like it. My mentor said, if you ask enough of the right people the right questions, you'll get the right answers.
And I'll say this too. You said a word right there that caught my attention. It triggered me. Distractions. Right now, there's so many distractions, and they can be good distractions, but you don't belong in every event. Right now, I'll tell you, this last month, I think I'm zoomed out. All right. I'm zoomed out. I'm webinared out. And yesterday, I just unplugged from Facebook, webinars, Zoom calls. I didn't take one because, we were rearranging my office and Mari's office, like I mentioned earlier. But sometimes you have to unplug because you get confused. You're trying to just be on every single show, every platform, and you can't do that. And you got to choose. You have to think, okay, what's my industry and what best is going to work for what I want to accomplish? And trust me, I've gotten about 50 invites these last weeks or so, but it's like I can't be on everything because I'm just one person. But you try to please people, and not that I don't love and respect a lot of the people that invited me, because I adore everybody. But sometimes you just got, like yesterday, I just unplugged from everybody because I needed. If I'm not good, how's my business going to be good? Right. So I want people to know that it's okay to not be distracted. Take a step back and say, okay, which lane is for me? And it's okay to say no, not to go to every event, because you're not meant for every event. And then I'll say this too, because right now I've gone about, and I'm not even exaggerating, probably over Like I would say probably like just this last week, about 40 invites to different groups. I'm not joining every group because I don't have the time. I don't want to wake up with 100 notifications. So it's okay to say no. And not that I don't respect these people either, but you got to choose what distractions are really distracting you, because if they're not being productive, then you don't need to be a part of it. If it's not your lane.
Well, that is exactly right. That's a good point. I appreciate that. Hey, Daniel, I know you've got an event coming up I want you to talk about in just a little bit, but before we do that, I want to roll out drum roll, and drum roll is this. The drum roll is we have launched, and we're pre-boarding the Global Elite Speakers Bureau. And I've never shared the screen, so I'm going to try to share the screen here. Tell me if that's working. I might have to look on the other phone, but when you go to globalelitespeakersbureau.com, can you see it on the screen there?
Yes. It looks good.
Great. So the Global Elite Speakers Bureau is a speakers bureau to get you on more stages globally. And if you are a paid speaker and you've done paid speaking events in 2019, you're going to want to go click on Submit Speaker Profile and get registered. Get your bio in here. Submit your profile. We are onboarding speakers now, and we are marketing and advertising this website to event planners. And so I know, Daniel, we need to get your icons up here. So we'll get them from your website and get your icons up here on your happy customers, your proud customers that you've spoken for and you speak for. You know, speaking is a big part. And how many, I know you know the numbers in speaking and things like this. Let me stop sharing so we don't have that eternal double mirror thing going on. So you have a system in getting people on stage and actually the content they need to use to follow up with meeting planners. And you're actually hosting the Sticker Shock Speaking Academy in San Antonio in July. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, yeah. So the Sticker Shock Speaking Academy came about because we've been hosting these amazing events. And we have the ability to, we have an amazing camera crew that comes in, films the event. And when they film the event, like the footage that you just rolled out, your new scissor reel, it has a lower third on there. So we have a camera crew. We have probably one of the best stage guys. And I'm not just saying this because he's my guy, but one of the best stage guys in the country. He's great, man. Tim rocks and rolls. So we're going to build an amazing stage. And the hardest thing to get those $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 paid speaking engagements when you first start off is the event planners and organizers want to see you speaking on a nice stage.
Right.
If they don't see you on a nice stage, they're not going to pay you that top dollar. And my big break came. This is how important just one scissor reel is going to change your life. I'll never forget when the United States Air Force hired me, and I told my wife, Mari, I said, "Hun, not can you take the day off? You need to take the day off because this is our future." She took the day off. She recorded me, Michael, with an iPhone. That day, I'm training the United States Air Force, the officers there at Lackland Air Force Base. And that one reel changed my life because A, it was the Air Force, and B, it was an amazing stage. They just renovated that stage. They put almost $500,000 into that auditorium. I was one of the first speakers to use it. And that one footage, and it wasn't even the quality of what we're going to record in Sticker Shock, it changed my life. It elevated me. My prices went up instantaneously.
Well, a Facebook user says, what if you're a new speaker? So you definitely need to be there if you're a new speaker. We're going to give you 2 days of solid content, nuts and bolts of how to build a 6- and 7-figure speaking business. We're going to be working with you before, during, and after the event. Daniel, you're going to have speaker contracts. You're going to tell people how to negotiate speaker contracts. I'm going to deal with the art of mastering the art of storytelling. You're going to be teaching selling from stage. In fact, I'm going to show an example of the speaker sizzle reel here. And, awesome. You know, your team did this. It was just phenomenal. Let me share my screen. And then we're going to share in the link when we're done. But the other thing is this, guys, at 3 o'clock Central, which is 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific, we're going to be sharing for 90 minutes. We've got some celebrity guests that are coming on, and Daniel and I are going to be hosting and co-hosting that together. What is the future of books and speaking? We're going to be talking about that. And, you know, we're going to get back on stages in 2020. We're going to get back on stages. We all are, but you need to, and we're going to be talking about how to host your own events. Let me ask you this before I show the scissor reel, Daniel. What would you say about hosting your own events? I know I've done it for years. You're doing it. It's definitely a lot more work, but it has the greatest potential for reward. You could fall flat on your face and eat a $20,000 expense and have to, have a conversation with your spouse, or you could come out really good. And what's been your experience? You've done 3 live events now. You're planning another one. What would you say on hosting live?
I would say I would definitely encourage everyone to host a live event. We're going to talk about a little bit about that at the Speaker Academy. But I would say you got to start small. Don't start with a big scaled event. When I first started, my first leadership conference that we did, it was very successful, profitable. And what I would say is this: is if you're having just to say, if you're we'll just say you're a health and wellness coach.
Yeah.
So if you're a health and wellness coach, well then, hey, who can sponsor me? So like
there you go.
GNC, right? You have GNC that can sponsor me.
Your local dentist, your local chiropractor. Yeah.
Yes.
Your local gym. Even though gyms are closed now, you have trainers that are working one-on-one with people. I want to echo what you said, though. It's hard to do. Don't do it. If I can talk you out of hosting your first event, I would say do not do it, because it could put you out of business. The first thing you want to do, if you're not speaking on other people's stages right now, is come speak on other stages. Come speak on Daniel's stage in July. Come speak on other stages. I'm hosting an event in Dallas in October. Come to Guadalajara with us in December. Come speak on that stage. Go speak on 6 or 10, or better yet, 10 or 12 other stages. Then you're going to have the database and the following, because you can't just host an event and show up and expect people to come. It's hard to get butts and seats, right?
So I want to answer the question. I saw that question that came up. What if you're a new speaker? If you're a new speaker, you definitely want to plug in, because every new speaker needs 3 things. They need to, first of all, develop that speaker mindset, right? That speaking business mindset, that speaker mindset. That's first of all, that, hey, I can do this. And then second of all, you need to plug into yourself with somebody that's been where you want to go to. And I don't know everything, but I can tell you, I know how to get you paid on a stage, and I can give you the mindset and the tools to get there. So that's second. And then the last thing you need a website, and you need a high quality speaker reel. And for whoever that asked that question, I know it said Facebook user, but with a speaker reel, a scissor reel is everything. And we're going to provide a stage for you to speak on, and we're going to coach you and guide you and record you. And all this is included in the Speaker Academy if you go with the Gold program. And then we're going to provide the red carpet. We're going to have a red carpet. Take pictures. It's going to be amazing.
Sorry, brother, I'm talking over you. I'm just going to show the.
I'll meet somebody extraordinary. His name is Michael D. Butler.
Give him an example of the.
And he is true magic. Not only does he have a great smile, and he's very energetic, but he happens to be the real deal.
How many of you in here have a story? You have a story, right? There's more people buying and reading books now than ever.
Are you going to show the video?
Yeah, can you not see it?
No.
Oh, that's too bad, because I had put share screen.
And I've written a book, and I can honestly tell you that this man goes above and beyond. It's not just serve his clients, but to serve the people that his clients are involved with.
You might want to start it over, Michael, because nobody saw that.
Okay, let me take it right there. Can you see now?
Yes.
Awesome.
And I've written a book, and I can honestly tell you that this man goes above and beyond. It's not just serve his clients, but to serve the people that his clients are involved with.
Love that. Love that.
You guys did a great job on that. I just want to say, We're going to be diving in a little deeper here. I know it's Sunday afternoon around the world, but we've got authors joining us from South Africa and Europe and Mexico and Canada. And so just another sneak peek here, and I'm going to give the Sticker Shock sizzle reel or the Sticker Shock link, guys, we get a lot of comments on Facebook. Thanks, guys. Okay, thanks for letting me know. You can see it now. We'll hyperlink it as well. Daniel, thanks for your time and the event. We'll tell you more about that. You're going to be joining us again at 3 Central, and we've got some surprise guests. I'll text you who they are now, Daniel, so you'll know. Join us right here, whatever page you're watching this on. We're going to be here again at 3 Central. We're going to go for 90 minutes, and we can actually host up to 6 people in the main studio here, and we've got a lot of authors cycling through, giving us tips on health, giving us tips on emotional health, and also giving us all kinds of business tips. So, Daniel, you're going to be talking more about launching your speaker business at 3 o'clock. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Have a great Sunday. Thanks, Daniel.
Awesome, Michael. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Awesome job.
Good stuff.